Guys, welcome into my first official 2023 NFL Draft Top 5 video, giving you guys my top 5 prospects I absolutely love when it comes to the 2023 draft. These are going to be guys that most of them, or if not, I believe all of them, are not being mocked in the first round. I mean, everyone's going to love Will Anderson, Bryce Young, and CJ Stroud. I don't have to go over those guys, but these are guys currently farther down on the list on different initial 2023 draft boards that I absolutely love. So I'm just going to be going over 5 guys. First, a few honorable mentions. Walker Parks, who is an offensive tackle from Clemson. He's a former top recruit. I absolutely love his build, his overall build, his overall size. I think he can develop into becoming a first-round type offensive tackle. Believe he's currently, 5th or 6th round type in terms of his overall ranking. He's a guy that if he develops correctly, he's going to move up boards. Walker Parks, the offensive tackle. And then another one, and this one's tough because he's so small. Two different cornerbacks, Tiawan Mullen of Indiana, and then Clark Phillips III of Utah. Both of these guys, I believe, are listed at 5'10". It's just so tough. It's such a border when you're that short to really be considered a first-round prospect when, you're only 5'10", but Tiawan Mullen, I love the way he plays the cornerback position. And then Clark Phillips III, he might actually be 5'11", the cornerback from Utah. He's actually a former top 50 overall recruit. He was committed to Ohio State and then flipped his commitment to Utah. So this kid was highly ranked, highly regarded. I love Clark Phillips III personally. Those are some honorable mentions, but let's get into my initial first top 5 guys I love for 2023, starting with number 5, and it is going to be Josh Proctor, the safety from Ohio State. Now, I am cheating a little bit on this one. The only reason Josh Proctor is ranked as low as he currently is due to his just massive injury issues. I think with Josh, he just doesn't, he didn't really have a tackling technique. He would almost just hit guys. And it's really not surprising considering the bad coaching, the bad defensive coaching Ohio State's had the past 2 years. Hopefully with Jim Knowles now at Ohio State, Josh Proctor will actually have some wrapping up technique when it comes to his tackling ability. But this is a heat-seeking missile. Really good athlete. Really good safety, former top 100 overall recruit, Josh Proctor. He needs to stay healthy. It's why he's currently like a 4th or a 5th round pick. He's really low on most boards. I believe he only played 3 games last year, and the year before that, he was banged up too. Needs to work on his tackling technique, but in terms of just his ability to range, being that safety, being that ball hawk, I really like Josh Proctor's potential from Ohio State if he's able to stay healthy. So I've got him at number 5 currently on my list due to that health concern. We're being cautious about it, but if he plays 11 or 12 games, he could very easily sneak his way into the early 2nd, late 1st round type range due to his athleticism. I think he'll run a really good 40 time. He also hits really hard as a safety. So Josh Proctor, my number 5 player I love for 2023. Moving on to number 4, it's going to be Josh Wylie, the tight end from Cincinnati. Dare I say Rob Gronkowski? Dare I say Gronk? This guy plays just like Gronk. And it's interesting with Cincinnati having all of these NFL draft prospects. They had 9 draft picks in 2022. Desmond Ridder, Ahmad Gardner, Myjai Sanders, and Josh Wylie is currently, he's like a top 30 player. He's my number 1 overall tight end. I absolutely love this kid. He's huge. He is Gronk-like. Go watch him. He's got really good hands. He's a massive target. And again, I just watch his tape. He reminds me so much of Gronk. So Josh Wylie is my number 4 overall player that I absolutely love in 2023 when it comes to the draft, being really overlooked right now. You're not going to hear anyone talk about Josh Wylie when it comes to the top tight ends in 2023. He's my tight end number 1. Go watch his film. It's really impressive. But moving on to number 3, my top 3. These are all guys I absolutely love. Number 3, it's going to be Zach Charbonnet. the running back from UCLA, Zach Charbonnet. If he would have come out in the 2022 class, he would have been my RB2 behind only Breece Hall. He would have been in front of Kenneth Walker. I call this guy Jonathan Taylor 2.0. He runs exactly like him. Zach Charbonnet. And UCLA is going to be absolutely loaded in 2022. They're going to be such a fun offense to watch. I could see this guy being a dark horse Heisman candidate, maybe 1,500 rushing yards and 13 or 14 rushing touchdowns. He runs exactly like Jonathan Taylor, and he had a great year, under the radar year last year, breaking tackles left and right. Love this kid. Again, he would have been my RB2 in front of Kenneth Walker, who ended up going, 41st in terms of the 2022 draft. This kid's really good. He's currently one of my top 30 players for 2023. He's being overlooked. He's being mocked in 4th and 5th rounds right now. It's ridiculous. I don't understand it. He is my number 3 player I absolutely love in 2023 in terms of the NFL draft. Moving on up the board, my number 2 player I love for the 2023 draft, a quarterback, Brennan Armstrong. Now, I understand he's a lefty, and we know lefties have not had a ton of success in the NFL, but, him being ranked 3rd, 4th round, it's just so disrespectful. This is a guy that is extremely accurate. He's mobile enough. To me, he checks all the boxes. He has a strong enough arm. This guy is a potential top 10 pick, right up there, maybe not on the level of CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, but this is a guy that needs to be watched. And I just love seeing, a smaller school guy, especially quarterback, like from Virginia, be like a top draft pick. I just love that. I don't know why, but Brennan Armstrong he is the truth. He is a legitimate star, former 3-star player from the state of Ohio. He went to Virginia. He's really, really, really good, and I've liked him for a while now. I really liked him last year. Over 30 touchdown passes with that Virginia offense. They had one of, if not the best offenses in their conference, the ACC. So Brennan Armstrong being disrespected right now. He is my QB number 3 officially behind Bryce Young and CJ Stroud when it comes to the 2023 class. I actually have CJ Stroud as my QB1, Bryce Young as my QB2, and Brennan Armstrong as my QB3. And then we can talk about like Will Levis, who's a very interesting prospect. Will Levis is probably my QB4 from Kentucky. I think he's going to get, people are comparing him maybe to Josh Allen, the quarterback from Kentucky. So very interesting, but Brennan Armstrong, my number 2 favorite prospect. And then moving on to my number 1 overall favorite prospect or prospect I love for 2023, it's Josh Downs, the wide receiver from North Carolina. And I have seen him in a few different mock drafts in terms of late in the 1st round. This kid is an absolute stud. You look at his height, maybe, 5'10", that's really borderline. I hope he grows at least another inch. If he can get to 5'11", preferably 5'11 and a half, he's a surefire 1st round pick. The problem being 5'10", there's really only one ultra elite successful receiver that's that short, and it's Tyreek Hill, and he's not as fast as Tyreek Hill. So that could limit Josh Downs in terms of where he gets picked in the draft. But this kid from North Carolina, what he did last year, he is just the definition of a stud. I love watching him. He's so fun. He is a great receiver, and the only thing that's really going to hurt him is the fact that he is 5'10". He's quick enough. I think he'll run like a 4.4 240, but just, maybe he can grow another inch. Maybe he's 5'11". But being where he is right now at 5'10", it's just very tough to be an elite receiver in the NFL at that height. If he measures at the combine at 5'10", it's going to be very tough for him to be an early to mid 1st round pick just due to that. Garrett Wilson was basically 6 foot even. Jameson Williams 6 foot, Olave 6'1", Drake London obviously 6'3". So all the top receivers, you got to be at least like 5'11 and a half preferably. And Josh Downs, if he is only 5'10", it is what it is. But I had to put him number 1. I mean, I just don't care. He's just such a stud. He's such a stud. He's so fun to watch. Same thing with Brennan Armstrong. That's why those are my top 2 guys. And Zach Charbonnet. But Zach Charbonnet is a great prospect. I don't know how he's currently being mocked like initially this late. Like he's the 4th or 5th round pick. That's crazy. And then Josh Wylie, being extremely slept on, massive tight end from Cincinnati, moves really well. Remember, guys, Cincinnati also produced Travis Kelce, another, superstar tight end, so that could be the next one. And then Josh Proctor, he's going to have to stay healthy. He's going to have to stay healthy. He's played a total, I believe, of 10 games this past 2 years, maybe with some technique. Jim Knowles coming in to coach him up. He's just a really, really nice athlete, heat-seeking missile, really hard hitter, rangy safety that I think, if he stays healthy, projects to be a maybe second, maybe late first round NFL draft pick. So guys, those are my top 5 players I absolutely love for the 2023 NFL draft. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.